Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rob Satch from Feedbackwrench. I just had a thought here I wanted to touch on. I think we're sitting on the cusp of one of the most impactful, crazy moments of opportunity for young people and career movement ever. And I don't think we're going to see it again for a long time. I believe over the next 10 years, we are going to see an increase in people's wealth, an increase in economic activity, and we're going to see wages shoot really high. Why? Why do I believe that? Well, it's October of 2019, and I'm going to make some predictions here. I'd love to hear if you think I'm full of crap or if you think I'm right. But what we're going to see is 10,000 people a day, starting 2 years ago. Baby boomers started to retire. 10,000 people a day starting 2 years ago until about 10 years from now will turn age 65. The dirty secret about baby boomers retiring is that baby boomers have not saved enough money. Over half of them have no savings whatsoever. That means that the vast majority of them are going to have to wait to retire and draw their Social Security. If you didn't know this, between 62 and 66 is your retirement or pull your benefits, and it makes sense to pull your Social Security benefits. The sooner you pull them, the lower your payout. If you wait till your full retirement age or even a little after, because chances are that you will die and you won't have the money as long, there are a lot of people that are going to be forced to retire a little bit late. But there's also, it's good to have the money as well. Time cost of money. So waiting's not always right. But I think what's going to happen is baby boomers are going to start retiring en masse at massive rates starting in about a year and a half. In about 2 years, so in 2021, 2022, we are going to see an exit of baby boomers from the working world into retirement living. And I think it's going to spur economic growth like we have never seen before. I need you to remember the reason why they're called the baby boomers is because all of those soldiers and all of the post-war people got done killing people and being part of war, and they wanted to have a family, have a bunch of kids, be with their wives, and we had this glut of babies, a baby boom, unlike what had ever been seen before, because it was the first time in modern history that so many people had so much peacetime, and the economic boom that was behind all that provided for a ton of margin in people's lives. So the baby boomers are part of this. It's a new world. It's an unseen thing. No one had seen this before. So remember how unique they are. Sure, baby boomers came out and we've had kind of dips and ebbs and flow in population, but they are the beginning. They are the first major group of people that when they retire, they are part of something absolutely new. You know, when they were in the workforce, the microprocessor really came to light. All of our Fortune 500 companies had amazing, spectacular booms and added so much more value. You can just see it in the stock market. Since baby boomers were there, more value has been added and created than ever before seen, ever. As they retire, I think right now what happened was that they got pushed back a little bit. You didn't see as many early retirees, but they're all holding a couple of things. First of all, the trades is filled with baby boomers that own their own businesses, whether that's an electrician, a plumber, a remodeling company, a home builder. There is going to be a massive exodus of the trades because baby boomers typically had more of a tendency to be in the trades than Generation Xers, Zennials, or Millennials, or now Gen Z or Y. They're going to move out of this, and there's going to be tons of opportunity. The next thing that we're going to see, they're all going to quit living in big single family homes. There's not enough senior housing, so there's going to be an economic boom in terms of building the housing and getting the services and facilities that they need because they're simply not there. There's also going to be a flood of transactions. A flood of transactions in a couple of ways. There's going to be people buying financial products like never before. They're going to be spending their 401k savings. All this money that's built up into the stock market, which that's another thing to talk about, is going to be transitioned into actual living income. you're going to see a huge influx in transactions of homes. Home sales are going to go up. I think home values are going to go down because supply will increase. Pricing cannot sustain this way, and it will be interesting. The next thing that we're going to see is healthcare is going to be taxed like never before. Those of you that don't know this, Medicare and Medicaid, Medicare in particular is the government healthcare plan that everybody uses when they get older. When they created this, they used actuary tables that were okay, and since then they have adapted the actuary tables so that you take out way too much benefit for the cost that you paid in while you were employed. What that means is there are going to be potential shortages in Medicare for sure, and then in Social Security as well. We will see if that actually happens. So there's a chance that taxes might increase if Democrats and if the liberal policies, and if we continue to do inefficient things in our economy, love it or hate it, if we're going to sit here and we're going to print out wind turbines and we're going to pursue, while it's good, we're going to be investing money into strange things that don't actually add efficiencies, but they are different, whatever. I think it could be a negative thing, but I think what's going to happen here is that system's going to get taxed. And if you didn't know this, I think healthcare is going to come under absolute siege, not just because of the political arguments we hear out there, but if you didn't know this, if you're a hospital and you provide healthcare and you accept Medicare, which the use of Medicare is going to skyrocket over the next 20 years. Did you know that if you were to normally be like, well, if you come in and you get a bladder infection fixed, that's usually $200, right? You might charge $200 to Medicare, but did you know that Medicare just basically shakes down healthcare providers like the actual hospitals and doctors' offices and gives them what they think it should be worth? This is part of why we have a huge pricing problem. There's the core problem why there's a pricing problem is there's really only three customers. You have customer number one in healthcare is the giant super 5 insurance providers. The second one is Medicaid, and the third one is Medicare. You have 3 customers. We're not there. We don't care how much it costs because we use funny money from those 3 customers. So that means prices in healthcare escalate. The other problem that you have is that there's so much red tape and bureaucracy, and then this fundamental thing where Medicare won't pay your full billable amount. So then hospitals will have this tendency of saying, well, we usually charge $200 to the health insurance company, but when we charge $200, Medicare only pays us $160. So that means what's going to happen? They're going to slowly increase their prices to net the same amount. That's what people don't understand. Your business is built on a predictable net outcome, and if you change that net outcome, it doesn't work. So I guess all that to say, the next economic thing that's going to be happening is we're going to see a giant instability in healthcare, and how we react to that is going to be very telling for the next 40 to 50 years. If we stoop in and we decide that what we want to do is provide a Medicare for all type of thing, that may sound good until you realize that the incentives to become a healthcare provider suddenly go way down, because now rather than hospitals and doctors' offices that care a great deal about attracting top talent because they have to retain customers, now you have a government bureaucracy that's less likely to care about retaining customers because there's no competitors. When you take out competitors, that's a big problem. We're already seeing it, knowing that there's only 4 insurance companies, and then the government. That's essentially who the customer is to all insurance-based healthcare. Look what's happened. Our prices have skyrocketed. If we want prices to come down, there's one thing we can do: increase competition, put more HSA dollars and people using their own money to hold providers accountable, and that'll help. But I'm telling you, we're in for it over the next 10 years. There's going to be volatility, which is good, and there's going to be huge opportunity. So get excited, get prepared. They're going to retire, and they're going to need to hire people to fill these places for baby boomers. Good luck, guys.